from this era of World War II, after the year 1946, you could have understood that the Earth was not actually 6,000 years of age. And we did. We made it to the moon. The moon is billions of years old right now. This is not a big deal to recount. We have a cult on the internet refusing to accept reality that the Earth is not 6,000 years of age. They refuse to accept reality that the Earth is not 6,000 years of age. They refuse to accept reality that the Bible is a legend from whenever you shouldn't have been born. You refused to accept reality that the earth is not 6,000 years of age, Pastor Tim, when I explained to you that the cone of Mount Rainier did have a 500,000 year cone, and it did sit on top of a 12 million year base. And I learned about this in school in 92 when I came back from my missions trip distributing the Bible in the former USSR. And while I was in the Alps hiking around during that summer, on holiday for 3 days, we had a break in, we got to explore, just staying in tents, and we're 15, 17. What do? You hike around, and confirmed that those were old chunks of rock. By how? Well, Russia kept the age of the earth a secret, would be a good way of saying it. We had 3760, talked about that as chanting Hare Krishna in Red Square. Hitler even knew that 4000 BC was one of the many deductives when he began to massacre the Jews. And, let's talk about a little bit of Earth history a little bit better. So let me walk you through reality now as I smoke some pot. And we got to just take this Bible out of print, accept reality. The Earth is not 6,000 years of age, and start to clean up after ourselves. There's a 6,000 year cult on this internet we can't get off, and we are not able to explain to that the earth scientifically and metaphorically and Hasidically in any way, shape, or form had never been 6,000 years of age, meaning it was both. So while it was 6,000 years of age, treated like 6,000 years of age, it was not 6,000 years of age, and we discovered it was not 6,000 years of age. About the billions of years of the Grand Canyon we had documented during the 80s. And so in 86, when billions of years of the Grand Canyon shows up on this internet, billions of years of the Grand Canyon, 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 billions of years of the Grand Canyon cult on the internet. So billions of years of the Grand Canyon. What year in 1611 did they write a book? And how positive are you that with billions of years of the Grand Canyon, 3760 was considered that well? The 4000 BC Principi. So did you huddle under your sheets when you're 10 like I did reading the Latin? But it was actually pretty good exchange of James Usher. When you're 10, learning Latin, because English came from Latin, and you didn't know that because you forgot because you were born after the year 1906. And so having been born after the year 1906 and not having been explained that the Latin exchanged into English, and really it would be better to just not have a book in English. You got really fucked from the Jews. They gave you a 3760. We couldn't stop it at 4000, couldn't keep from bleeding at 1023, 4004 BC. It was medieval during the 16th century when Trinity College wrote a book, and 136 million year Wycliffe of Dover never thought they would be caught up with them on that. And 770 on the Alps never made sense. Mount Steptoe, I was talking to somebody who estimated 40,000 years less. Poof. The little what are they called? A pillow basalt. You can look up pillow basalt through the Columbia River Basin in order to understand how the earth swelled up from a 24-hour day earth in or down from a 1-hour day earth into the 24-hour day earth, which is how I'm able to explain that. Hey, check this one out. So Christianity has a 6,000-year catch up with the Pope uh, from the Middle Ages, from before the 16th century, before, where are we now? Well, the year's 2021, last time I checked. The and 1611 is still on it, and that mint is still 1611. So, Cult on the Internet, let me wind you through the authorship of the 1611 itself. Something, a rare little glimpse of Earth history you've never seen. It cost me about $6.5 million to observe this one. Talk about NASA. Did you even know you had this? Not until I put it like that. So in 1946, you followed a legend, is what I've been able to fully ascertain. Not just one plinkle of, I think this happened. No, 1946, the Bible itself. In the year 1946, I'm going to demonstrate to NASA scientists who made it to the moon on a kite, designed from the air of this Kitty Hawk guy, who I love. And thanks for the airplanes that went over pretty fast and with metal on them from metallurgic designs from places like Boeing during the Cold War era, flying over YMCA swimming pools you built on the way, and didn't hit. So it's YMCA. The Earth wasn't 6,000 years old when we made that pool. Wow. Now we have a leak. Remember, you ever have a little leak on a swimming pool? It's about like that. God's not in the book at 27. That's very immature at 27, actually. 27 is like 1899. What happened to you therefore before? And Grandpa Gideon, I'm sorry, was born after that. I probably shouldn't have been. I don't want to say that. The 3760 is a hard one to puzzle with. I don't mind saying that at all, and you don't have Prince of Pie in your under next to your bed sheets like I had, and I need to get up another copy in Latin. So yeah, 10 to 12 huddle underneath your shits. Oh shit, James Usher wrote a book and it's in Latin. And when's this going to come out in English? I should probably help him out that get bored and decide to just go fly airplanes and do real life things. And so it went with 12 from the 1986. I noticed in 1986 that the 1611 didn't have God in it, so I could go fly airplanes, and the Earth wasn't 6,000 years of age, so that worked. And learn a Hare Krishna. Mahoji, did you know the Bible doesn't have God in it unless you put God back in each and every verse and look for him in the Bible? Okay, let's do this the fun way. Where was I? Okay. I'm trying to psychologically distort you as what the fuck is wrong with you as a cult? You refuse the name of God, Jehovah. You're mentally ill if you can't see God. And Moses spoke face to face is what a sentence actually read, and the word said that. So God and Moses spoke face to face, passing from our consideration from the nature of the astral plane. We will. I guess that's me sending you notes. I'll let you know what's in the Zohar later. Um, and we'll do it's just more of my 12 step inventory. I want to keep it to myself. Not even joking. We could shut up Facebook with that. And I'm not going to. I'm kind of bored. let us remember certain things about it. I'll just record this. I'm forgotten that Jehovah was his name in 1891. It's not hard to forget. Uh, a spiritual awareness of helps with your prayer life. To the spirit of my dog even knew that one, and feeling aspect for higher consciousness. So my dog's up there on 500,000-year Kona Mount Rainier chanting Hare Krishna with me and laying in my lap as he was dying when he was 14 years old. He knew that God loved him and he doesn't love Christians because you have a book that had 3:16 circled at John 3:16. Go to 2 Timothy 4:3-4. This has its roots in the soul. My dog even knew that, jerk. And dominance of the mental nature. Yeah, my dog even knew John 3:16 meant you were following a legend, and constitutes him as a mystic. My dog was a better mystic than your cult. They were. And Adam and Eve were albino. So let's go next. Okay, Adam and Eve were albino in the story. I can get rid of for you as a cult on the internet. Study at the centers. So they put the R before the T, and I like that before the ES. Finally, the light in that is indicative of finding that the path that remains for my dog to remind he's up in heaven, scratching on my head, brain saying up there, oh no, 6,000 years, Earthers up here. You were correct, Dad. I told you I'd get back to you on that. So on 3/7/2018, he left me to get back to that me on that. It is interesting to remember this. If you channel your dog from heaven in Hitler's lap, you'll find out that everyone's in hell. And there are many other conditions of having the capacity to do that. And answer categorically, do you believe in the Alps? No. 770 million years, millions of years, Grand Canyon? Yeah. I answered my dog up in heaven, knew that one, but he knows you're not going to end up there where I is, in Hitler's lap. This is the objective of our work, to remind you you have a 6,000-year Earth still. And it's not 6,000 years, and you should really wake up. The concrete mind hinders in another and more natural way. So not being able to wake up to even start your car and read your newspaper properly, you probably shouldn't even have a telephone. And unless you're talking about they're making up the how you tie your shoelaces and the color there. To answer categorically, the path of knowledge is so. If you want me to get into the Zohar to turn you off, I will. The answer categorically, the path of knowledge is pretty much the letter Hey. He doesn't like you. Is that of the occultist in the sage. So Rabbi Shimon, thank you for a book. And that love is that of the mystic and the saint. So John 14:15, John 14:23 went to Exodus 33:11, collapses the cult. Deuteronomy 34:10, you had Moses' 120-year obituary, where the Psalms in your school's handwritten by right here. I had a book while I was alive, and Mount Rainier was that. Well, that nobody could figure it out, and accept reality. And for this is a solar angel, the soul is organizing itself, reorienting itself for God. And Moses speaking face to face, get your book out of print. Or will I enter the brother's heart and see this woe? Why can't you even see if Jehovah wants to help you, cult on the internet? Straighten up your lips. He has a name. You're a little baby. You shouldn't have been born after the year 1906. You have a hard time with the Earth record. Trump, thanks, you're fired. Everyone in the you gave this book, this 1611. It's not in your casket with I shouldn't have been born. And this sympathetic nervous system up on your chest right here, an authorized version. I shouldn't have been born. The helps were this when I was. I have it ready for you. And the sympathetic, having it ready for you. I'll show you how. Go to my website. The manifestation in elite, the development of the intellect and in the man marks his fitness of the word of treading the path. Getting cold on the internet. There's nothing. The third direction. Fuck you from the Matterhorn. It's an old chunk of rock. The soul is a direct. The moon is billions of years away, and you know that when you look up at it. Night and darkness interact, and you know that when you look up at that and it's looking down at you, doing that to you because you're so dumb now. Rule 10, you're so dumb now. 6,000, you're dumb. You forgot 3760. You needed 4,000. You needed Prince of I in your schools. You needed the handwritten death record of your dog having to do with 1611, never teach it. And Rule 10, two facts about the forms are stated. God and Moses spoke face to face. His name was Jehovah in 1891. He liked that, which are true of all forms and all three strong injunctions. His name was Jehovah in 1891. And for some really, really important reason, I'm letting you know that you don't have a rain cell having been made out of the 136 million year white cliffs of Dover and Cocos and breeding together and forgetting where it came from. The form absorbs and uses the waters in which is immersed. So up there where we have 140,000 or a trillion times the amount of water that my dog up there in Hitler's lap is looking at, there's a button right over here. You want me to push it? I keep telling him no, and I try to spin him back. I say, hey, thank you. Tell me this next word. So Jehovah, he doesn't like you. He doesn't like Christians. The experimented this new group will, of course, not appear in many decades. He will be a true Aquarian with the universal touch. So that's the Aquarian gospel of Jesus Christ. It just made reference to. I'll go out there and smoke some pot on the way to help. We have a lot. This everything in print after 1601, and I told you it was an invalid deal. Where'd you put the age of the earth now? Oh, so you kept the age of the earth as legend. 4004 BC. That's a fun red letter legend. I'll show you. That's the worst of the nastiest. I hate the red letter legend of Jesus that ended up in 2005, 2010. It's almost impossible to work with. If I had not been baptized with that one, so here's how I selected the missions trip Bible I'll read from, which said creation undated. Oh, you found out why we didn't have the 2005 and 2010 piece of shit, and it still had the red lettering, a little bit different, and it also had things like reality. It said creation undated. It said here's some old chunks of rocks over here, kind of like that archaeological study Bible that talked about Neolithics from where 8,000 years ago. 20,000 years ago to 8,000 years ago, absolutely nothing happened and nothing changed. 8,000 years ago to 4,000 years ago, absolutely nothing happened and nothing changed. And 4,000 BC, you got writing at 3,500 BC, 500 whole years, and you lost everything. You must know the truth. I'll make it really simple like that. And this is how you turn off the Bible now. So did you know that? Is the moon really billions of years? Are you sure? The brain is to be telepathically sensitive in two directions and at will. See, you don't have a book, little baby. Being a physical plane matter, literally etheric consciousness, is the next step ahead for the race. So yeah, the moon is billions of years, and yes, the Australian Aboriginal have remained there for a really long ass time. And yes, 1856 fell off for one. Yes, it's a 40,000 year fossil. Woo! We made it to the moon on a power kite. Whee! From 1906, designed by this guy, not there, and he used it pretty well on this picture. I'm saying you forgot about. So in this area, you're pretty dumb now. Finally, the light in the head is indicative of the finding of the path. So, told you there's nothing in your Bible but a mystic taking it out of print for you. It is therefore largely a matter of perfecting the mechanism of the brain so that can rightly register and correctly transmit the soul impression and the group purposes and recognition. Involves Jehovah and Moses speaking face to face, and you having a brain cell after you accept reality that you didn't know you made it from after having been made from the 136 million year old white cliffs of Dover. Then God clunked off a little chunk over there at the Matterhorn with its billions of years old. It clinked up, made something kind of red that didn't blow away out of the billions of years Grand Canyon olds, and they made it together and they forgot where and didn't keep track of inertia after that. God and Moses spoke face to face in awakening into conscious activity of the center between the eyebrows called the Oriental Student, the Ajna Center. So like Facebook or so, that's the easy chakra. That's the vibratory tune, and I keep telling you to straighten up your lips, you're straddling your, I can't figure out even how to ride a bike on a 6,000 year earth that had in the 16th century. You fucking idiots! You put 4004 BC in the Bible again? When we had 3760 written down already, we had it. 3760, we said use 4,000. We wanted them all. There's 200 of them. And it took them all to read one sentence in the Bible. It's that way, cult on the internet, because that is the formation of the book that's not for real in 2005, 2010. Jimmy Swagger, you again. I love you guys from 96. I was baptized in that shit, but I got one free and one for $4. I said, I'm not going to even spend $6 on that piece of shit. It is a destructive ass. Putting a data creation just I felt like it, and keeping with the Bible in print, it's a destructive aspect, and the energy flowing through the third eye can have a disintegrating and destroying effect. So this is what I'm explaining. Dude, got on the internet, like, oh, I'm gonna sucking on your own goetic demonic cocks. Look at the picture of Goetia. The Goetia demons, that's like you. And so floating around, I'll be scared to turn, we'll be a bad Sparky and learn something and do it. And 12th century Tarot, Hungary, 1840s. Pick up Aleister Crowley. That's a good one. You'll feel like you got a brain cell actually learning something from that. Oh, how do you mean? How was that man alive then, not knowing that the Alpha 770 and he wrote that book? Wow. And he didn't even know the United States didn't know that the Grand Canyon was actually billions of years, and he wrote that book. Wow. 777? Weird. Why did you put that there? And he wrote that book with the billions of years Grand Canyon, and he didn't try to contradict it for the United States NASA who made it to the moon. He didn't even try. Why not? Why not? We're now fully through the occult. Cult. We can't get off of the cult internet with all of this cult data. Pope, did you know about God and Moses spoke face to face, and he doesn't like you to have your book unsealed? That it doesn't have the age of the earth, Pope. Put 3760. I can't turn it off at 4,000. Put it there. I can't turn it off at all over the place. Fuck, why can't we turn this book off? I'll help you turn it off, Pope. I'll give you a little rundown on where to turn it off and why. This is okay. So let me first do the just okay. So look up Charles Darwin's birthday and flow along. Pope, you're fired. Dudes, what the fuck? 6,000. I should have thought of this when I was 10. I kind of did when I was 12. Flat Earth Legend, Young Earth Retentive in the year 1996. When On the Origin of the Species was published in the year 1859, the worlds of thought and religion were jolted to the very foundations by the theory of evolution which proposed. Up to then, practically everyone accepted the biblical chronology published in the 17th century by Bishop James Ussher, who asserted that the earth had been created. Yay. Okay. Let's follow along with this assertion, okay? In. Okay, so we have in 4004 BC. In 4004 BC. Okay. Go over to Wikisource. And would you like the birthday of my dog who asserted the Alps were old when he was born? In. Where's this at? Okay. Oh. In 4004 BC. So in the year 4004 BC, absolutely nothing happened, but your Bible ended up looking like this in 1859. In 1859. In the year 1859. The Bible remained in the year 1859. In the year 1859. In the year 1859. With the assertion of you're going to lose track of it. And so this is you lost total track of it. We're this is shame on us as for being even trying. We lost track of where we put the book. This is a bad shame on us. But you'll feel like a pretty shitty Sparky when I'm done with this little. You're what? Baptist Clubs, my church. Okay, so with reality, probably I'll translate the Communist Manifesto into the Hebrew this afternoon so I can do some Kabbalistic arrangements on it just for fun. But you see, this is an antique. And it's an antique I got on as an antique gift from my ex-girlfriend, lovely Leah, 2016. Whenever I feel like I'll mention Christian and her. But this one, unique, it has 1023, 4004 BC. So it has it. Oh. Ooh. Cult on the internet. Cult on the internet. The Gospel according to Matthew. Cult on the internet. The Book of Haggai. Cult on the internet. The Book of Habakkuk. Cult on the internet. Names in order of the books that you can't keep track of. Cult on the internet. The first book of Moses, and here's how it is outlined. Year before the common year of Christ, 4004 BC. It doesn't even say it. Year before the common year of Christ, 4004. Open. Julian period, 0710. Something happened. Open. The cycle of the sun. Figure it out. The Alps are old now. Dominical letter B. The Alps were how old when my dog was born? And cycle of the moon being 4.53 billion years will make sense of the Alps for you. The indication 005, the Alps were 770 when Hitler was born. Creation from Tesseri, he used that number with 4,000. And (1859) up to then, practically the whole world accepted your Bible with that in it. Then in the year 1891, I'll take care of it. Mine now. Same pictures. Same adornments. Just in the Finnish language, too hard for you. So mine now. This is a Finnish language apocryphatic antique from the year 1891. Biblia, Apocrypha Krajat. What the Finnish language told us through the distribution of this little thing called on the internet, with cult 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 on the internet, with introduction to the Gospel of Matthew, author date 60s, with confirm that that's correct. Authorship Matthew, surnamed. We have followed a legend because it's not, and there's nothing valid about that. Without now together and without 3760 to make sense of this. No one lights a lamp and hides it in a jar. With 4000 BC, we go back to King James. No man who hath lighted a candle cover it with a vessel. So neither of them happened, but we're taking your King James out of print with that. For those authoritative timestamps of having it in print now, still kind of weird that you still have it. So with, let's go back to without. Without, this is a little, put it in your back pocket and take it to the movie Alpha and figure out what's wrong with your kids putting 20 million years up there and throw it at the TV screen, and you back home, throw it up on the TV screen for not figuring it out when you watched the Big Bang Theory. And then, so right here, this is apocryphatic after that. And then in between is the Holy King James Version of the Bible from the Mormon apocryphatic standoff of left it as legend, but not 6,000 year legend. Opened it up. Literally, this is like my favorite. This in my yeah. So this is that Finnish language over there is this in the Russian apocryphatic I always work from somewhere 92 is this same. The you don't have a Bible is reality. That 1976 is a piece of shit is reality, America. And then when you look at this with little things like that, what did it mean? You to have you look at it and think about it a little bit more right there. So God and Moses spoke face to face. He wrote it down it's flipping off from the Matterhorn that I'm reading it like that. And I'm explaining to you that this one without the age or an earth. No. You lost track of the age of the earth in this one. Contents, garbage now. Published 1969. Baltzino now. Now I'm making this for my own personal coffin. During the year 2021, we couldn't use this to turn a cult off with, and the earth was without form and void. And Jehovah and Moses said, and Moses wrote down, let there be light, and there was light. And Jehovah saw the light, that it was good, and Jehovah divided the light from the darkness. Say, in the year 1537, you followed a legend, and Jehovah called the light. In the year 1602, you follow with the same legend, turn it off it, and in the darkness he called. In the year 1611, the King James Version of the Bible that I'm reading from had 80 books, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And now in the year 2020, we have 140 trillion times the amount of water in this next verse. And God of Moses, his name was Jehovah. He was wearing a hijab when Joshua redacted this one, and he said, don't misspell my letter name. Hey, in the next sentence, let there be a firmament. So 140 trillion times the amount of water at the far edges of our universe is now called a firmament. NASA scientists who came back from the moon with the billion-year-old moon rock, you can't explain to a Christian that this Earth is not 6,000 years of age to divide the waters from the waters. Billions of years on your moon, just divide that water. And Jehovah made the firmament, 1611, that I'm recording myself like this, and divided. We're taking it out of print. You run across this, and this is too good because it does not have the age of the earth in it, so I need it like that. And it without the age of the earth, you missed a bunch of words. And it with the age of the earth, you would have put it in red letter. And Moses went up from the plains from Moab to, and you probably would have put Jesus right there. And Gad said, blessed be he in the endangered Gad. So in 1611, you followed a legend. He that loved the people in the year 1666, legend turn off. Moses commanded us the law, even the inheritance of the congregation, 6,000 year legend turn off and take out a printed red letter. And then that red letter, you go through all of the good poetry and you see, yeah, so my dog was born 8/3/2003. During his lifetime, he didn't question me when we were walking on top and agreeing to take care of the 500,000 year cone of Mount Rainier. He died on 3/7/2018, knowing that having taken care of the 500,000 year cone of Mount Rainier his entire life in order to protect the billions of years underneath it that it sat on top of. And Tino that knew that too, billions. We walked in the shade of that old mountain often, and it meant that we walked in the shade of that old mountain often. It was easy adopted, and so we have to take this out of print that I even have it. And a guide from going as we did. So this is an old antique, little baby. And so by my Yorkshire remained alive while you had this still, and you couldn't figure that this shouldn't have been gone out, and that this was medieval, and the year was 1891 because this 1611 remained, and the year 1611 because this 1891 didn't turn off right there, and the year's not 1611, but you wrote a book and it's a bad one, and this one has to just go out. Oh, that ESV, out, first one out. Piece of shit. Ooh, I hate that piece. Oh, yuck. Whoa. You need 3760. You need 4,000. You need them all for that piece of shit. Oh, wobble. Doesn't even have a binding I can work with. And then ink bleeds through the paper. Okay. Ink bled through the paper. So this is entirely a 1611 Apocryphatic Holy Bible Family Circle Edition, Riverside 100% English Apocryphatic. It's for real. It's heavy. So when you understand how to read it, this one with out. So here, this is kind of an interesting phenomenon I'm going to outline right here. The Holy Bible presented to the one I had when I was a child and I learned how to write from, it actually said, and I wrote at 10, the translation and the clarification notes were, so I worked really hard for my entire life to figure it out. The King James Version is used in the American spelling, and that's why. So I learned how to write. And to clarify that I didn't need to do this just immediately. This one published 1971. The chronology for the events recorded in the book of Genesis cannot be established. So, cannot be established. Listen close. Since the author of Genesis did not suggest a date for creation, did not. 1971, Cold War era secret now. And the era of the patriarchs is generally dated in the first half of the second millennium BC, yeah? A tenable date for the Abraham's migration is the early part of the century. So you're not looking up in Norway where the story began at. You're a total diversion. Total diversion. Total diversion. Total diversion. Now you have racism because of what? Middle East of dark skin, and lost track of the ancestral origin of the writing, and then you evolved from apes from Britain, and Abraham, a century or more earlier. Others prefer a century later. Yeah, so we're 136 million year Wycliffe Dover didn't make the Latin Greek exchange over at Trinity College either. Outline the book of a book I'd stay away from and getting it out of print for you because the earth is not 6,000 years of age. They didn't put the age of the earth. And so not having put the age of the earth in the Holy Bible Family Circle edition, uh, uh, we'll get the Holy Bible Expanded Reference Edition by the same Riverside quite a few years later. This one's from 1971. It's the same text. However, when you open it up, it just begins at BC, 4004 BC. Unlike that one, it actually begins. However, the word Genesis is derived from Greek word meaning generation or origin. They then, from the year 1971, moved the 1959's dating into that spot, where then that spot got retained in 2005 and 2010 into the Red Letter Legend Expositor Study Special Ed Edition into and 1859. Now, from 1946 we're now back we don't know how to use that one. 1946 we don't know how to use that one. 1946 in the year 1946, following along with the publication of, we don't know how to use that one. It's not in here. There's no indication of anything on the age of the earth in this old heavy. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing on the age of the earth. Absolutely nothing on the ages of the earth. And that absolutely nothing in red. Absolutely nothing in Jesus. Absolutely. So where you put in red letter the legend of Jesus in the first 27 books, a bunch of places, and you couldn't turn them off for the Psalms, absolutely nothing proper. New Testament be gone. Okay. Grandpa Gideon, you're pretty senile. Sorry about that. That was the Middle Ages. And so absolutely nothing. Now this is a different book. This is actually what this became right here. This version of the Bible Let me demonstrate to you cult on the internet. Bible goes away, religion be gone. Bible remained, religion lost track of date. Religion be gone because you're preaching a legend of red letter inside. From this era, 1899, medieval. Placed into this constrictive format of right here. God and Moses spoke face to face, And now what do we have? We only have 6,000 year earth legend. So we only have 6,000 year earth legend in all of the books. We only have 6,000 year earth red letter legend of Jesus and red letter no. And red letter no. And this is actually a really shitty copy of the Bible, the New Testament, the Conflict, but it's a really good book. I can actually use this one. And I don't mind having this one in the front room. Most are upstairs because this one just has to be gotten away. This is a piece of shit. This isn't a real book. This is what's wrong with you? You're mentally ill now. Yes. What's wrong with you? You're mentally ill. I'll put it up here with James Escher. What's wrong with you? You're mentally ill now. Because your book became like that, little baby. And you can't accept reality that you shouldn't even have it. And not being able to accept reality, you shouldn't even have it. So we missed that over here when they flew airplanes into 9/11, and these guys are throwing your fire. That's why that's not in your schools. Need to read from that. 1891 is right here, and Sufism 1891 is right here. Sufism 1891 is right here. Sufism 1891 is right here. The way the Sufi God and Moses spoke face to face. You got your book out, The Pilgrims of the Christ on the Muslim Road. In 1891, you followed the legend from Norway, Judaism and Christianity. There's your legend from Norway. They bred right here in the red from the 136 million year White Cliffs of Dover. I'd like to explain the Hajjat a little bit better. That's why you have COVID-19 right now with cult on the internet, and children of to God showed that he is ashamed of you for having cult on the internet. Children of Abraham. An introduction to Islam for the Jews with cult on the internet can't accept reality that Jesus isn't for real after that. And the Sufis, and he was sitting right there whispering the absolute sweet nothings of the Quran into the ears of the Prophet Muhammad, and he's an albino. The heart of the Sufis use the Quran to collapse the Bible as a cult. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. You don't even know what you're missing out on. Saul's actual authorship, and you lost track of it because then you became, we're going to keep everything in Greek. And I love working with Greek. You just don't know how to read it. And it left you kind of silly. And I need to, over the next 3 months, Latin. You guys owe me millions. 6.5 million. And so now upstairs in this little Cold War bunkering house to turn the Bible off, having collected all these antiques, the antique era, having taken care of, they all come fully researched. I know what I'm doing. I flew an airplane once, and the Earth wasn't 6,000 years of age when I bought this book. So I have a book to prove it. The Earth wasn't 6,000 years of age either when I bought this book. And specifically in this particular version of the Encyclopedic Index is beautiful. The from creation to Jacob, removal to Egypt, the witness to Syria, the cycle of the sun, Dominica letter B, not here, creation of the world, Adam and Eve driven from Eden. Okay, we were just driven. And so it's driven We have absolutely no red lettering right here, but we have this beautiful picture that I'll show you in the antique one over there. It's the same picture as that, and it's the Finnish language Bible had a picture in it, and they didn't put the age of the earth in here because they didn't over there, and so there's no red lettering, and they got no words wrong or misspelled, and they have some good pictures with no misspelled words and red lettering. And that really just, but let's go. He restoreth my soul, and God and Moses spoke face to face in 1891. Apocrypha Krajat passed the righteousness for his name's sake. Psalms. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from 6,000 years, the violent man. And Isaiah, and it shall come to pass that 6,000 years were explained it like that. In that day that the Lord shall beat off from the channel of the river into the stream to God and Moses spoke face to face in 1891. It was Apocrypha Kirjah and Jehovah after that. And ye shall be gathered one by one. And then, so let's see. Whoa. Then it goes, this is a good, oh, look at this red lettering. This is good red lettering. It's still here. Wow, I can actually handle looking. Unlike the 2005, they did it again in 2010. This is good red lettering. Ye are the salt of the earth with 6,000 we can't help you out with. But if the salt have lost their savor and forgot about 3760, wherewith shall it be salted? Well, we'll use approximately 6,000 years ago. They wrote a book, and it went forth good nothing. And then the billions of years made no sense to anyone. But that was Lilith on my back, Max up in Hitler's lap, letting me to remind you that no Christians in heaven. Yeah, the light of the world, a city that is set on the hill, cannot be hid, which is why we can't turn off a cult. And as God and Moses spoke face to face as they went to his disciples, behold, God and Moses spoke face to face, but it's not in this way. This book, this way, met them saying, all hail. How do you like that? All hail. So they come up to him. Okay, you approached me. Hail. All hail. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. I showed up. I'm an albino. I got my hijab on. Then he said, 6,000 year, they erased the 770 age of the Alps. It's not for real now. And the billions of year old Grand Canyons don't make sense on this internet in the year 2021. Be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee and they shall, and they see me see the baby blue red lettered plinking cult website we can't turn off doesn't know how to read their book after the year 1946. This is 1946 open-ended. You're still here. This is better. See the red on this? It's that color red. And see the red in my right there, it's this color red. It's a good color red. And it said that we can play with it however we want. It's a good color red. And so we can put it in Finnish, which does have this color red. Let me go get that one. I'll show you that picture. This is so cool. I'll even put my cat stool. Oh, my cat stool. Okay. All right. Finish. Antique. Careful. Hey, we want 3760 to be considered beside 4,000 and turn off at figure it out later. It's not right here. And Lahoman Kaja, the book. Fofan, this one's a testament to, it's more about the pictures they're drawing pictures of. And I'm not going to take it out, but the typical swinging around and whatnot, Moses looking up with the big shiny cloud. And and of course, the prophecy of Daniel, the prophet Daniel, and see, they give the authority. The prophet Ezekiel, spell the words right, and then the same pictures, same spot, same marquee. We're now looking at the theologian, the and now as we wobble into, they kept a flat Earth legend. Also, you forgot about the flat Earth legend during this era of pictures. The 136 million year white cliffs of Dover don't make sense to the 6,000 year Earth, or when they visited, and the 136 million year white cliffs of Dover. Does your book have a picture like that in that? So mine in Finnish has all of this. You like that? Cost me $6.5 million for this picture. Okay, so for this picture, so this one I guarantee you the Bible's 100% antique behind me. 100%. Antique. 1972, 1976, I was born, or the 1976 I was born with. Antique, 2000 and published after 2005. Antique, publication of an antique invalid. They republished it, and then they put the age of the Earth when the original contained said, "Hey, we don't use that." They actually did that. It's like they must have then picked up that really, really shitty one and made it look theirs bad like that. And for 2005, 2010, we got to keep it. They put it in rather than questioning it and saying, "No, so we can grow it up and not publish this book." Antique. You published an antique English apocryphatic that matches an antique English apocryphatic. This antique in English apocryphatic said we can't use 4004 BC, and then this antique 2000 later English apocryphatic placed it at the beginning of the story. The beginning of the story. The beginning of the story in English, which can be read as God poofed the earth or nothing happened. And then they wrote down, well, okay, what happened before God poofed the earth 6,000 years ago? Because it was medieval back then when you wrote it and read it the first time. Okay, so now that we're through antique, the antique consequence of having this one in print still is that in 1946, the Bible just went antique. Antique consequence. Antique, seriously. Antique consequence. Antique little baby called 6,000 year Earth Antique Vilna. 6,000 year Earth Antique Bible. 6,000 year Earth not. 6,000 year repetitive can't turn off New Testament. Legend of Jesus. Bleeding. You're over $28 trillion now. You're all in hell. Cult they can't turn off. Pope doesn't know how to read his book, doesn't know that his Bible still be medieval, and your Bible be invalid and antique after the year 1906. Nobody except for me. Or you already, so I'm pretty sure my grandfather knew because he was buried with, as he said, right there in Genesis chapter 5, he said, put it on his heart. But this is where we're at here in Zillow. where we're at. So Genesis chapter 5, where God was not at, except for 2 chapters later, and then 5 chapters later, right where we're at. By an Episcopalian church, I had to take that Bible out of church. So the Episcopalian Church with the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs and the Ascantahuahita Bible of the year 1666, legend turned difficult with, is where you know it. And with the authorship and history of that little book from 1899, from the year 1899. Kind of cool. 1946. Okay, 1946. We went through that. Oh God, I need to bring my King James back. Okay. Little baby colt. Little baby colt. Little baby colt. Little baby colt. No date. No date. No date of creation. I placed 3760. Oh, using my delusional method of time. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign. And there's no date still. 4000 BC, my God, think about the Tobians using your delusional method and not knowing how to read a book. God and Moses spoke face to face, and at Jerusalem dwelt a certain of the children of Judah. So using your delusional method and not knowing how to read a book, is there not an appointed time to a man upon the earth, or not his days so like the days of a hireling? So take your book out of print at that. And using your delusional method of thinking the Bible had the age of the earth. No, just take the Bible out of print and look around you, then know what's around you has the age of the earth. Probably your scientists and your doctors who stick needles in you, they probably learned in the school. You might check yours and learn that you can't trust anything like yourself, except when you masturbate and then you got cum on your belly. Remember doing that when you're 13 and when you're 25. Great shit. So 100% Cold War era antiques. 100% either does or either does not have an age or an estimate or a use of, but definitely not there in the one that counted, in the one that told on itself from 1859. So 1859, Legend from Darwin. 1859-1976, Catch Up with Legend of Darwin. 1859, Antique Bible. Gift from William. 1891, Legend Turn Off Bible with same legend without the age of the earth. 1891 explains all changes named to Paul in the book of Galatians, because you got this in print, and then it's all right there. Cool. Authorship of any of those? Cult. Legitimate authorship of any of those? Cult. Legitimate authorship of any of those 27 book collations? Cult. Legitimate authorship of any of your 27 book collations? Cult. Legitimate authorship of any of your 27 book collations? Cult. Pope. Legitimate authorship of any of your 27 book collations of Legends of Jesus? Legitimate